I also have a Patreon community, so I also leave my Saturdays open for them to book because they get a complimentary reading with me as a part of their membership. But if you guys have any questions about astrology, I always say, like, I'm here to talk with you guys, not at you. So hello, Mindy, welcome. So if you guys have any questions, you're like, I'm confused about what this means about my chart, I'm also happy to answer them in the interim, in the hour that I'm here. So I may have to stop to pivot to do a reading for somebody, but again, I'm always happy to chat in the midst of time in between. Hi guys, how are you? Hi Vizzy, hi SK. This is a little bit of a different live stream than you guys are used to over on YouTube. I have my chat split on my left and my right hand side. So basically one of the things that I use, I'm good SK, that I use for work is what we see in front of us called the Human Design Body Graph. Hi Swas. I'm excited to have my leftovers today of butter chicken. I wanted to tell you about that earlier. But what you guys are looking at, and I'll show you guys here on TikTok so you can see what I'm looking at. Flip camera. This is what a Human Design Body Graph looks like. So basically what we do, right, for these types of charts, or what we're looking at with these types of charts, is a combination between astrology, the Hindu Brahmin chakra system, which is what all those shapes are. And this is if we were to kind of like personify or create an energetic map for the type of person. If somebody was born at 1:30 in the afternoon in New York today, this is what this person's energy would be. What this also tells us is what the energy is for our current moment in time. We have a Taurus moon today. So with having a Taurus moon, it's very much so about caring for other people, caring for our body, our well-being. Hi, Con. Really noticing like where I love the little Alice in Wonderland. That's so cute. It's also like where our secrets keep us sick, so on and so forth. So I'm just gonna make sure that I can push this over here. There we go. So again, a lot of Aries energy, a lot of Pisces energy. Oh, you were waiting for me, Con? Thank you. But yeah, Vizzy, I don't do free readings on Saturdays because I do have clients that come in and it's still good to eat. Yes, I only have a little bit left. I'll finish it today. But I kept it nice and cold and frozen in my refrigerator freezer. So I just do a little reheating after 3 days, like today would be the last day. But Vizzy, I don't do free readings, so I do have a link in my bio if you do want to purchase a reading, just out of respect. Before I started streaming for you guys for free during the week, I do paid readings. So I have a Patreon community or a separate private community where I do paid readings for people. So I keep those spots open because I may have a couple people. I'm only going to be on for 45 minutes today. It's a shorter live that will book. But what I can at least tell you, since you do have a Taurus energy, but if you were born on February 7th in the type of astrology that I use, which is Western astrology, we're actually looking at the fact that you're an Aquarius. So it's more so of that like Aquarian humanitarian. You have a lot of heart for people. Hi, Ghost. But it is that like bolder, brighter energy of being able to kind of be like on your own. No, you're good. I say, hi, Boricua, how are you? Oh, fellow Aquarian energy here. But Vizzy, I'm happy to answer questions like if you know parts of your chart, or for any of you guys that know parts of your chart, if you do want to drop them in the chat, I'm happy to answer in between. But to pull up your chart and to put it in my chart generator and email it to you, that the exchange is the actual booking of a reading. But I'm very much so happy to just answer any questions that you have about your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, anything in the in-between. But basically what I was just talking about right now, before you guys enter any kind of comments or anything like that. Shedding old nail. Yes, it's that kind of day. Thank you. Yeah, I love my chart generator. Thanks to you. But I love the colors. I love the setup of it. I love like the imagery. What we're looking at a lot, and what I also love, because Eid also falls, yesterday, at this time, or the type of energies that we're having is specifically what is called the channel of community. Oops. Channel of community. So it's this honoring of food, wanting to eat with people, being communed with people, wanting to celebrate with people, really noticing like what are we taking in energetically, what are we downloading, what are we consuming, who are we consuming, what energy are we around, and being really strict about that. There are a lot of people, as you guys have probably felt over the last 24 hours, that are feeling a little bit more combative. Hi, Mo. Feeling a little bit more combative, feeling a little bit more argumentative, really having that kind of, that energy. Yeah, Swas, please do. If you guys know anything about your astrology, like Vizzy, if you know your Western astrology, like your birthday, right? I know you're Aquarius sun, but you guys feel free to drop your birth date time and location. If I'm doing a full reading and really going in at all of the different pieces and pulling you up in a chart generator, that's what I require a booking for. But like I said, I'm happy to keep talking to you guys about those little individual aspects to just help you regardless. I always say, again, I like to talk with you guys, not at you. Okrina, you're a beautiful Virgo. I'm also a 94 baby, so you just finished your Saturn return like me. I'm actually a Pisces, so we have your half birthday is gonna be, or was, on the 14th. So Virgo's obviously very anxious. I feel bad because your stomach has probably been really bothering you the last month. Virgos very much so have the anxious disposition, but what's really hard about stopping being anxious as a Virgo is that your perfectionism and that anxiety is also what is like part of your superpower and what makes you as good as you are at your craft. Or like when you do get things done, it's like, again, that double-edged sword of like certain things are really perfect because you are anxious, but not, you also can struggle because that anxiety is like, oh, if that doesn't have like a healthy place to go, we can kind of get ourselves into trouble. So a lot of that too. Yeah, okay, so, oh, your moon is in Taurus. Okay, so Swas, whenever we have a Taurus moon, like we do today, and I'm reading the chat on YouTube also, so if you guys can't, like, don't see the chat and what I'm looking at, Karina, let me know if you have any other questions as a result of what I just mentioned, or if there's any kind of, like, particular struggle that I can help through the lens of human design and astrology. I'm happy to. But yeah, so basically, yeah, please feel free to share, SK. But for you specifically, what we're looking at here first before I go into answering your question, Swas, thank you, Jorge, for the follow, is we're looking at a combination of your natal chart in Western astrology. We're looking at a combination of the chakras we use in human design, which is, this is the chart generator from my website. It's how energy flows through your chakras and how that everything is you pushed out. So what it tells us about your aura, your frequency, how you interact in the world. So if you're like Swas, I know, Mo, you have a Taurus rising, Capricorn sun. I forget your moon sign. I think I have a Jacqueline who's an Aquarius rising, like myself. I also have Karina, who's a Virgo sun, I now know from the comments. But for you, Swas, with an Aquarius sun, this is why you and I have a lot of connection, because I also communicate. I have a Aquarius Mercury, so we have like Sun Mercury synastry, both in Aquarius, where it's like I can put words and give you a vocabulary that not everyone can have or can find the words to put to your name. That's where we have that kind of like a Aquarius connection. So essentially, when we're looking at, you know, the archetype of who you are and what you're about, you really like your creature comforts and your solitude. The initial reaction or the visualization that people are going to get from you, or perspective, is that maybe they sometimes read you as impulsive, definitely stubborn, and firm in your approach. But what happens is that your moon makes you a little bit of a softie. So when you are a little bit more, thank you, Grasshopper, when you are a little bit more of that soft exterior, it's what makes you feel like you have to overly compromise to keep the peace, which would also lead me to believe, Swas, that you may have some Libra placements in there in some capacity. Vizzy said, Brenna, if you were to create a fictional zodiac sign of yours, what would it be? That's such a good question. Oh my gosh. Well, I would have to think of some sort of like cool, like sexier name. Some sort of cool name. Maybe I would be Aphrodite because of my background, the Aphrodite zodiac sign. Something more Venusian. I don't know, maybe like some sort of goddess energy, like a little bit more like luxurious. I feel like that's a lot of like, I really love like rich food, like making the butter chicken on live with you guys on Wednesday over on YouTube, like, you know, enjoying the pleasures of life, which is very Libra, but maybe some variation of that. I think like also travel, and luxuriating while traveling, something probably along those lines. So that's such a good question. Ghost said, there isn't much to know now, the basics of understanding the purpose to have and converse your idol. Controverse your idol? I don't know what that means. Oh, SK, you got proposed to yesterday. Oh, that's so sweet. Congratulations. Oh my gosh. 2026 is your year, girl. I'm so excited for you. Congratulations, Farhana. Oh, that's so exciting. I love that. Thank you, Grasshopper. But yeah, I'm gonna flip my camera around for now so that you can see me as I'm talking to you guys here. But yeah, I think like, again, if there's any other questions you have in relation to that swass, please let me know. But Aquarians, like, again, thank you, Mo. That's so cute. Thank you, Mo. We need our alone time. I think that like, and respect is also very big, which I think for you, swass, is a little bit more, yes, respect is built into like all cultures in some way, but I find that there's a little bit more humility that comes with your country of origin than the norm, which is a good thing. That's hilarious. I love that, Chelsea. Hi, we are pretty much discussing the spiritual meaning of a birthday. That is true. That is true. I'm over, as you know, on YouTube at the same time, so I've built like, hi Tarun, a really amazing community. Eid Mubarak, Akbar. Hello, hello. Of people, which is so perfect because I'm in a ninth house perfection year, as are you, Karina. But anyone who's also in a ninth house perfection year, it basically means that we do build connection with people who are in other places in the world, other cultures different from us, which is an Aquarius rising I've always loved. I think it gives more depth to us when we connect with people that don't share the same background. So I could go on and on about that, but it's been fun to like grow and see the shifts and the waves of change and like where I'm connecting. So I've been on TikTok for 3 years, because you guys that have been on YouTube didn't really know, like you're like, how are you confident in front of the camera? Like, you're new here, but you're not new to live. I can tell, that's for sure. Yes, Akbar, likewise. Thank you, thank you. I hope you had a good celebration. How are you celebrating today? I know lots of good food. And that there'll be some prayer going on too. But what actually happens on this celebration for Eid? I don't actually know. I know there's good food, but it's funny because I love when we see all the religious and cultural practices that follow like the spring equinox. It's like not as far-fetched as people may think. Yes, sleep well. I know it's late for you. I'm only going to be on for like another half hour. I wanted to give some time to my people that were in Patreon to see if they wanted to book today, to just keep those sessions open. If anyone does want to book, I do have like 2 spots left, 10 minutes for 15. Link is in bio, and you also get a copy of the recording of the reading from today. So we have that too. You're a Gemini. Oh, May 26th. Yes, one of my aunts is born on May 26th as well. That's what makes you like very chatty, very communicative, very articulate. It makes you a little mischievous too. So also being mischievous is what I see with Geminis also. You always got to keep your hands busy and keep it moving. My father-in-law, who Mo also knows because he's a personal friend of ours, my husband and I, knows my father-in-law. So it's like you can see that in my husband too, who's also an Aquarius. Like that kind of like air sign energy of like always kind of it's almost like air signs like always feel like they have wings in some capacity, or they're like flying around always having to do something. But yes, exactly, Swass. We can work as a secret agent because we have a natural spiritual connection. It's true. It's true. That's where it's like for some people, like across the internet, right? You feel that connection in like a healthy parasocial way, if there is such a thing, where like there is that connection of people where it's like, I don't know why I feel like I relate to this person, but there's something in our connection that feels like, oh, maybe we incarnated here before, because I do believe in reincarnation, but that like, energy can't be created nor destroyed, so our souls are a part of that pie. But it's interesting to think about and talk about for sure. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anybody. But again, if you guys in between, if you have any questions or comments about the, energy right now, if you have any questions about Mercury retrograde that just ended, or questions about like specific aspects of your chart, I'm happy to answer them. I just won't pull up a copy of your chart without the booking, just because it's the way that I've always done it and I want to be fair. But Grasshopper, I go live every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's 227 Eastern Standard Time right now. I used to go live like 4 times a week when I first started, but I got busier offline, or still online, with other clients and business meetings and stuff like that. So my live now, as of this month, is just Saturdays afternoons from 1 to 3 p.m. But I do go live on YouTube every afternoon from 1 to 3. So I'm more so on YouTube than I am on on TikTok than I used to. So thank you, Christy. I appreciate that. Do you know, or are you willing to share? Are you comfortable sharing your astrology or human design? I'm an Aquarius rising. Yes, the bookings in my profile, Grasshopper. Yes. I don't have Venmo set up right now just because Venmo is connected to my personal account, but Cash App is linked through my payment processor. So I have that too. But yes, it's Calendly. You can book at the link in my bio. Okay. Just blocking any weirdos in the chat. So we have that. There we go. I'm telling you the Eid concept tomorrow. Briefly now want to sleep. Yeah, I tried. Okay, yes, you're actually tired. Yes, sleep well. Yes, your fiance's a Scorpio. So he's actually, he's a late degree Scorpio. So, or early degree Scorpio, excuse me. He was almost a Libra. But yeah, that's where the intensity of Scorpio comes from. The traditional ruler of Scorpio is Mars, but also Pluto. So it is that it's intensity. Absolutely. My time of birth is not on the birth certificate. So I can do a 10-minute reading without your time of birth because I still also get, based on the location and the day and year, birthday, like month, day, and year, a couple aspects of your sun sign that we can pay attention to, and something that's called your incarnation cross in human design. So I can do enough in a 10-minute reading. If I were to do like mentorship or something longer, I recommend always getting your birth time for that. But for something that's short, sweet, and to the point, I can give you enough in the 10 minutes. So tons to marinate on. 11/11 Scorpio. Yes, I love Scorpios. I have a Scorpio moon. So we have sun moon synastry. So a lot of my close friends are Scorpios too, and some Sagittarians too. Yes, you guys are very theatrical. Usually have some funny way that you communicate in true ghost fashion. So we see, you're welcome, Grasshopper. So we see a lot of that too, which is really funny. I love that. Bree, okay, Bree, I see that you just booked for 2:30. So let me do this for a second. And I will bring up your chart. So. And then Bree, I'll also send you a copy of the recording, so you have this to look back to again and again. Yes, Bree, I see you here. Protecting your info. Okay, so this is what we're looking at here. And then we will go. Okay, so we're at the 18-minute mark in this recording. So I'll send you, Bree, in response to, you'll get a confirmation of your booking via email to Calendly, so you'll get that again and again. So essentially what I'm looking at, and you'll be able to see me and your chart on screen for your reading. So essentially whenever I'm looking at love, of course, or love life, or what that kind of looks like for people, there's a couple aspects, but specifically for you, in human design, what I look at first is your sun sign, or the gate that references the type of sun sign that you are. So you, right, when we're looking at this little aspect here of your sun, you're a gate 29 sun. Basically, this is like a very late degree Leo or early degree Virgo. So August 22nd, right on brand. Gate 29 is really being somebody that is very industrious and going after the things that you want to go after. So when it comes to love, I really feel like with astrology, with human design, it's understanding yourself so well that you know what your needs and your expectations are out of a relationship, so that you can advocate for yourself, but say like, is this somebody that's actually able to appreciate me for who I am as an individual? as a gate 29 person, you're also very much so a yes person. So in my studies and how I often word this gate is like, it's like the Yes Man movie by Jim Carrey. It's like saying yes to all the people, places, and things. But what you learn over time is that you can't say yes to other people at the expense of yourself, which is oftentimes, unfortunately, what happens. And Deanna, I see that you booked, my dear. What is oftentimes what happens in love, because you do really want, hello gorgeous, you do really want to be able to connect and be very giving and very devoted to your people, but you also have a Leo Venus. So gate 33 Leo Venus is like that quiet Leo Venus confidence. It doesn't actually represent as a traditional Leo Venus. If you guys are interested in human design and the overlap between astrology and human design, I am teaching a workshop about it. I have a wait list up right now. The link is in my bio. Shameless plug, side note, but I have a lot of people that ask about that overlap. But basically, if this is overwhelming for you, Brie, and confusing, I just want you to understand that the main core of it is that there's certain aspects of your love, even though that you're a Leo and you want to be like devoted, you want people to really appreciate you, to see you, to basically like have a variation of worshiping the ground that you walk on, rightfully so, treating you like aesthetics, gift giving, it's okay that it's important, but there's also some aspects of it from a human design perspective, an astrology perspective, that should be kept private. Especially for you as a Virgo moon, there is a lot of that nervousness. So even though Virgo is ruled by Mercury and the Leo is ruled by the sun, it's like it wants to be seen. You want to shout it from the rooftops. You want to share it with everybody. Hi, Santiago. You do want to keep that. Yes, exactly. You do want to keep, like, the best way I can describe it is that not everything is meant for public consumption. Even the people, Jacqueline, this also feels very relevant to you. Even the people that you also feel like would have your back, you know, the people that are bitter because, like, say you have a girlfriend that's been dying to get engaged, right? And you get into a relationship and start dating somebody before her. And you know that even though she means well, there is a weird energy where she can't actually be happy for you in some way. That's what you have to listen to in your gut instinct to say, like, I know that this person may not be meaning to give me the evil eye or to send negative energy my way, but I have to make sure that I hold my relationship sacred, especially when it's in the beginning. Like, it's okay that, like, it almost feels like situationship like, but that it is healthy where it's like, again, not everything is meant for public consumption. Hi, Josh. And that you do have a little bit of that, like, barrier to entry and need to know basics when it's relevant to other people. You know, a couple other things that I'll say, because you also have a Virgo Mercury, is that you can be very, hi Josh, very particular and judgmental, which isn't always a bad thing. Like, I love a good judgmental girl because it usually means that, like, she has opinions, like she has, like, standards, like we have that. But it's like, when does the critiquing in a relationship become nagging, right? I dated somebody with this placement, so I know what it's like to be on the receiving end, and I'm a Pisces, I'm a sensitive bitch. Like, I get sensitive where it's like, I'm already hard enough on myself quietly, like, I don't need my partner to, like, point out all the things that I'm not doing. So I knew, like, for me, that wasn't good. But it's more so, like, you really are, you shine no matter what. Like, you are gonna get attention whether or not you want to, which, you now knowing that, it's like, how do you work with that for your benefit? So if people know, it kind of reminds me of, like, because the second Devil Wears Prada movie is coming out, and it's that, I'm just doing a paid reading for Bree, so I'll answer your guys' comments, SK and Ghost, in a second, but she just paid for the next 10 minutes of my time. We have like 5 minutes, and then I'll answer your questions back and forth. So I'm not ignoring you, but just so you know. But with that being said, Bree, you get attention. Hi, Leah. How are you, gorgeous? Whether you like it or not. So what happens is that people know, discerning eye. It's like the Miranda Priestley, like, oh, okay. That's what, I get it, clocked it, that's what you're doing, interesting choice, and then go about your business. Because people know, like, that you're judging them without even having to say anything. Even if you've never met the person before, it's just like it oozes out of you. But what that can be turned into is, like, we have standards here. It's like, you're not any budget hotel that people are going to on vacation. You are a high-end wellness resort that has certain standards, and the reason that people go there and treat it with respect and reverence is because there's respect for those boundaries and those judgments. So it's not that you're not meant to be, hi Siddharth, healthily judgmental, but it is that like just be aware of how that can affect long-term in partnership, especially if you're in a heteronormative partnership. Like I always don't like to assume like what people or who people are into, what their relationship setups are like. But like especially for like if you are dating a man, like it can feel emasculating after a while. And what happens sometimes, unfortunately, is that there is a certain, no matter what your gender, but there is a certain type of person that if you always believe that they're going to do something wrong because of past pain or past hurt, that they're like, okay, well, if you believe that I'm a cheater, then I might as well just go cheat because you believe that about me. So why would I try to be anything different when you already believe that? So now we've both created this self-fulfilling prophecy of like, you believe that about me, you still want to date me, you're still with me even though you think that about me. So basically what's happening is you're letting the anxiety create, like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. More so with Virgo and Leo placements, like that's not a one-size-fits-all methodology, but I would really look out for that in your relationships. But for you, like honestly, if I had to kind of like give you some of like the bigger overarching themes of like really understanding, like you're allowed to have like bougier partnerships. Gift giving can be your number one love language. Like it isn't as you know, for you, if I had to guess, like I think we all have we all have the 5 love languages. I love all of them, but like gift giving and words of affirmation is one of the 2 of the most important things for you. Like you need people to communicate. Excuse me. And I would say, don't shove things under the rug when you feel them emotionally. I also, because in human design you do have an open spleen, which when I send you this recording, it's the bottom left hand triangle that's undefined. So basically what that means, the white triangle, is that it creates a healthy or unhealthy sense of like, you're either very fearful or fearless. And there's kind of no in between. So it's what can make like the toxicity. Like, do you watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Brie? I'm like very into this, like everything that's happening right now. And I love looking, maybe I'll do like a, yes, maybe I'll do like a astrology of them. All that to say, is that, oh fuck, I lost the train of thought that I was going to say in relation to that. Okay, it wasn't relevant because you don't watch it anyway, so it's fine. But essentially, for you, it's like learning to take up space, not stifling what you believe in. Oh, but the whole toxic thing is what I was saying with Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Like, just because it feels good, if you know it really isn't good for you, it's like we're of an age now, once we get to like our early mid-30s, we're only a few years apart, that it's like the juice isn't worth the squeeze anymore unless you know what makes you happy, right? There is that dopamine hit of somebody who's just there for a fling, a summer fling, or you know, somebody, if you're looking for something more serious. It's not that you're not predisposed to have partnership or not have partnership, but the biggest thing is to not let somebody drag your head around. Hi Marie, how are you? Or drag you around emotionally. The person, especially if you're in a heteronormative relationship, or anybody that really appreciates you, is going to still be able to keep yeah, exactly, same way, girl, like keep a level of sacredness and seductiveness in your connection, while also being able to treat you with respect and knowing that like the words that you need to give you the peace of mind that you need, Brie, to like know where they are. Maybe you like to share locations, you know, to track where each other are just for safety. If you go out to, you know, the Hamptons or upstate New York and they're out on Montauk for the summer and you meet in the middle, like I'm just saying this because of you being a New Yorker too, like that kind of cross pollination. So again, it's not like you're fated to have love or not to have love, but there is that like there is that energy of figuring out like, okay, who is it that I like, and who is actually old enough and mature enough to have that balance of like they learned it. I also feel like as a Virgo Mercury, sometimes you may write off people who have been divorced or who are divorced, but don't write somebody off because they're a divorcee. So I would say that too. But thank you for letting me read for you, and I'm excited to see how that progresses for you. But yeah, I don't want you to feel like there's anything like fated or fated about a connection in any way. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll after I'm done or off live today, I'm only going to be on, I think I have like one more spot left for a little bit of time, but you know where to find me if you have any follow-up questions. So for beautiful Deanna, and hello Swash, hi everybody. Deanna just booked for the next 10 minutes as well, so we're at the 29-minute mark. And your questions were more general, Deanna, so I'll answer them. I won't pull the chart up right now. But what are some of the lessons I will need to understand with gate 63 and gate 64 as my unconscious sun and grounding earth placements? A reading about doubt and confusion. In my birth chart, I don't have Virgo or Pisces placements. Yes. So when we're looking at anything, hi Ferrari, that's on the left-hand side or the design side, anything that's in red, that's called our unconscious side. So just for people, I'll actually show you guys here on TikTok what I'm talking about. That's anything here. Now, anything on that right-hand side follows the belief of reincarnation. So essentially with reincarnation and anything along those lines, basically, it's when your soul chose your human vessel. So it's not the actual configuration of where the planets were about 88 days prior to your birthday. So it's like a version of like your soul's purpose, your soul's aura, if you will. So we're flip-flopped, right? You have five, like we're the flip-flop sides, right? So I have a gate 63 Pisces sun and a gate 64 grounding earth placement. So I know this as a personal and a professional level. SK, I did answer your compatibility question, and I had asked you the other day, can you actually get your, go to astro.com or astroseek.com, run your chart and let me know what your rising signs are, because then I'll be able to give you like more of the compatibility question. But Deanna had paid for the next 10 minutes of my time, so that's why I just don't interrupt for free questions for people who have paid. That's just on Saturdays, so I just keep the Saturdays to that, but during the week you have me all to yourself, where I'm not distracted. So don't think that I'm ignoring you. I just like to confirm that you know what I'm talking about. But Deanna, for gate 63, the gate of doubt, so much of the lessons are like, we're natural born skeptics. So much of your soul's purpose is to not be so understanding, not be so, like allow there to be a barrier to entry, right? And that's something that as a Pisces, I also had to learn how to not overgive. And it's like the axis of devotion, I think is what they call Pisces and Virgo placements. But it's like, I cannot pour out from a deficit. I have to pour out from an overflow. So if someone feels off, looks off, smells off, they're off in some way. But what we're not meant to do is internalize that doubt, right? We're not meant to internalize that like, oh, but like, they want me to give to them. I'm not giving what they want, so they're unhappy. Therefore, there must be something wrong with me. Where it's more so, I'm uncomfortable with this person asking something of me, right? Like they're asking for more than I am able to give. And it's like givers have to have boundaries because takers never have any. And thank you for liking the live, Marie. That's what we're looking at, right? So, you know, I would pay attention to who are the people that feel like the takers. I struggle with this because I am very giving in my lives. Like when you guys know me on TikTok Live, like when I'm teaching in a situation like this, like I freely give advice. I'm an Aquarius Mercury. If you hang out with me long enough, like there's always going to be something that everybody learns when they hang out in my life, because that's just the nature of who I am. But I'm not doing, like the last free workshop that I did was the nail in the coffin. I'm not doing any free workshops with anybody anymore. Anyone that I've done my dues of free, like free doesn't work. When people pay, they pay attention. Like I'm not doing, when this is for human design, not like the YouTube stuff, but like the actual content when it comes to my business teachings, I'm not doing for free. I post every day, you know, I have different ways that people have access to me, but when it comes to like more of those things, it's like, the juice just isn't worth the squeeze, because I know, like it's that, you know, and that was a learning process for me. It was like the final closure of like, okay, I've made the right decision where it's not worth it for me, you know. No, I already know. I already get it. Gate 64 is not very different. It's a gate of confusion. It's the last of all 64 gates. So it's like, if something is confusing, it probably is. Same thing that I was saying for you, Brie, with relationship, especially with a man, right? And Deanna, we were talking about love and relationships. A man who wants you is never going to leave you confused. Men are like biologically hardwired when they desire something to go after it and not to second guess, right? Like that, when a man gets to a certain age, his 30s and 40s, where like he's interested in you and he wants to pursue you, you won't be questioning or wondering or curious. Like, if somebody wants to go about, there are going to be grown men that are about that life, but like, if you want like a serious relationship, romantic relationship with marriage, like there is no, time is of the essence. It's like, it's here, it's now. There's a flow, there's an action plan. They kick it into high gear. And yeah, and it's like, if so many people, it's with, so there, listen, there's always going to be two camps. There are people who are intentional about pulling the wool over your eyes because it benefits them to do so and to make you confused. And there's also people who are just unintentionally ignorant and not knowing. So like, I'll give you an example of something that was actually really beautiful, like boundary setting, gate 63, gate 64 lesson and conversation. And I get a lot of DMs on Instagram, and I get a lot of DMs of people asking me to do different events and things like that. Because they see that I'm a practitioner, I do workshops, you know, things along those lines. So I got a DM from this wonderful woman named Dana, who is doing a workshop out in Minneapolis, which is a plane ride for me away. And she was doing, it's like a virtual assistant, like, what's the word? Virtual assistant, like, workshop event. There's a term for it that I'm not remembering the name of, but she was looking for human design vendors to go and do pop-up readings. And I was saying, you know, like, I would love to do that. I'm so happy with what you're doing, but I'm like, unless I get a travel stipend and like I'm comped for like food, hotel, and like the workshop or something that I'm doing, like, I'm not going to fly out just out of the good faith of like going and doing an event. You know, especially for me, if I'm flying anywhere, I want to be on the panel of speakers. Like, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. So, and she was like, oh, totally get that. I looked at your website. It just seems like there's like like I didn't realize, you know, and she was like, oh, like, I love that for you. And I was like, I love that for you too. You know, energy like that, that's more so of just like mutual respect and understanding of the person understanding. Leah, I see you for 2:50. I'm just running like 2 minutes behind, my dear, as you know, over here how it goes, and then I'll finish up with Deanna and then pivot over. But yeah, so it was just like, those conversations can happen, but you have to know and have clarity of the vision. Like, if I'm gonna leave my house, I want to go to the airport and I want to travel somewhere in this year of life. But like, for me, it's like, if I'm gonna go somewhere, I want to go somewhere. So for me, it's like, yes, if I'm gonna go and I'm being asked to work, thank you, girl. If I'm like going somewhere and being asked to work and go do something, like, there are, for at this point in my life, I know what it's worth. And I just got off I had a reading today, really a business meeting today, with one of my return clients who's been here before, that just left her job, and we were talking about how she can make the most bang for her buck with her self-employment. And yes, there are understanding people, exactly, and have the vision. And I was saying, like, you just have to know, like, the confusion on both sides and the fog on both sides comes from you not having clarity of vision enough to know what you're in it for. So if you're confused and they're confused, then everybody's confused, and nobody knows. Like, you don't know that you're unhappy until you both didn't get, like, you realize you didn't get what you wanted based on that experience. But what happens is that it takes us coming out of our ego to say, oh, I didn't enter this relationship with clarity of vision. So instead of this being like, you're wrong and there's something wrong with you and I have to yell at you, it's more so like, oh, I understand my role in this and I am sorry for that. You know, this isn't going to be an uncomfortable extraction, and that's okay. But what it will be is a respectful extraction, because I can own the fact that I didn't have enough clarity to know what I needed going into this business relationship, this partnership, this romantic relationship. So like, okay, you know, and listen, we can only control our ego, what we think, how we feel, and what we bring to the conversation. You know, nobody likes when I pull my energy away. I know for damn sure, Deanna, it's the same for you. It makes them feel uncomfortable, because if you as Deanna have hit your limit and are pulling yourself away, they know they fucked up. They know something was wrong. So it takes them that time to bite the pill, or chew it, swallow it, swallow the pill and say like, oh, all right, that takes a level of like, that didn't make me feel good. They're probably not going to give you the satisfaction of telling you that 9 times out of 10, but I know energetically that anybody that I've had to retract myself from in a relationship knows that I came at it with mutual respect, mutual understanding, and they were the one that tried to pull the wool over my eyes or tried to do some shady shit, that they know why. Anyone that is an adult that is like, especially in their 30s and 40s, they know what they're doing to an extent. Right? Even if they can't logically put the pieces together up here, they know energetically when they're getting more than they have given and it's not reciprocal. So, those are the lessons of gate 64 and gate 63. It's like, who's confusing to me? If I'm confused, I don't have time to be confused. There's not enough hours in the day for me to walk through confusion. I was confused in my 20s. I was confused when I was a teenager because you were still learning what life is about. Like, that's what we're exploring, and your goal in your teens and 20s is to get answers to the confusion. So paying attention to that. So I will leave you with that for now. I'm going to finish up with Leah, and then YouTube I will also be able to pour into you guys too. And then I'll talk about compatibility and anything in that way. So yes, and dating is illegal. if someone's 18 it is. If someone's 18 and was not 18, it's illegal. Straight up. But yeah, Deanna, I'm happy to help you, my dear. So beautiful Leah, we will be, I'm gonna say at like the 42-minute mark here, and let me see. Oh, sun in an undefined root. Okay, I love this. So we can just talk about this. I don't even have to pull up your chart for that alone. I probably will for your sun gate. Your gate 53, right? For your personality, sun, Leah, if I'm not mistaken, gate of beginnings. Yeah, okay. 42 for my, yes, 42 for your 53. There you go. I love that. That's so perfect. Okay, gate connection. Okay. So when we're looking at your, okay, so any of our configurations with our human design body graph, everything actually, hi Jules, comes from the root up, okay? I also have an undefined root. With the gate of beginnings in an undefined root, it's literally that like, oh my God, I didn't realize I made a mistake until I was in it. How do I come back out of it again? Now, what's good about that is that that is your predisposition. Very similar to gate 29. It's like, oh, I've said yes, I want to reel it back in. Why am I saying this? I'm trying to shove the words back in my mouth as they're coming out, and I can't stand that that's happening. It's like knowing that that's your predisposition and knowing, hi Nini, that isn't a sustainable place for you to operate from long term. What it is meant to do, and I was just saying this on the reading that I just did, it's like everything is about balancing the scales, and I don't think that we incarnate here. Like, my belief is that we don't incarnate here. Thank you, Nini. Thank you, Mo. We don't incarnate here with ease. It's through our challenges, and what Earth is for is like we incarnated here to have challenges, to learn how to come out the other side stronger, and that the teachings that we teach other people based on what we've learned through our challenging times is a testament to our strength, but also a major part of our life's purpose. Now, as you know, anyone's personality sun is a part of their incarnation cross, which is a part of their life theme. So gate 53 is about like jumping in, starting things, leaving no stone left unturned. A lot of what I would encourage you to focus on is what I call the graceful exit. And it's letting people know that, like, in some sort of healthy disclaimer, like, you are not going to see things through to the societally acceptable ending of them. And how it's tied to your emotions is also everything. Like, as much as you want to be objective, like you're a Cancer sun, like, your emotions are fact for you, even if your emotions are not fact for another person. So that's where it kind of gets a little funky and mucky, and like trying to find like what that balance is. Yeah, it irritates me a lot of people. It irritates a lot of people. I hate making mistakes because of that. Listen, those people who truly fuck with you, who truly love you, will understand that that is objectively Leah. That is just who Leah is, right? My sister-in-law is the day before your birthday. My brother is the day after you. I know this energy very well. So I know that, like, yeah, for me, if I need Leah for something, like if I need you to be there for something, I know that it's best to ask you for a one-off thing that's relatively close to the deadline. Hi Roses SK. Okay, new channel. Okay, perfect. Aaliyah is my last reading, so that I'll tune into you guys too before I head out for the afternoon, and then I'll be back again on Monday. But what I would practice is, and what is helpful, yeah, you come off confused, yes, and I understand, because you have a lot more grace than somebody who doesn't have those placements. Like, you let people be people who are arguably unreliable, or if you found that you're not that way, maybe there's information there, right? Like, maybe there's something to explore of like, oh yeah. And listen, this is kind of the experimental part of the human design experiment, where like sometimes it is a do as I say, not as I do, because your chart could be the complete polar opposite from somebody else's. So it's like, oh, okay, as a projector, I'm going to tell you to, work 10 hours on this project. But for me as a projector, it's literally do as I say, not as I do. But, we have the benefit of being manifesting generators. Yeah. The shadow of immaturity shows up. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I feel like it's very Cancerian too. It's kind of like people, it's like immediately emotional. Which, listen, Scorpio moon, I'm an Aquarius rising, which presents one way, but I'm also a Scorpio moon. Like, I feel it just doesn't, my face doesn't match the insides. It's like I have like nature's Botox of like the outside doesn't match what the insides are showing. And I think it's going into it as like the intention, right? Like, I know last time we were talking about romantic connection and romantic relationship to you, for you, and, writing your disclaimers, like, and if excuse me, where the compromise is important. Like, my husband is very active and energetic, and he's always doing something. And it took like a good year of us living together for me to not, as an undefined root person, him with a defined root, to not be like, oh my gosh, I have to get up and go to the gym with him in the morning. I'm not a morning person. I love working out. I love going to the gym. I like working out at home even more, but like, I'm never going to be somebody who gets up and works out at the ass crack of dawn. Like, it's just not going to be me. But it took me time to realize, like, oh, I don't have to do this for us to still connect in other ways when it matters. So exactly. And exactly that, like, even just screenshotting your own words, like false pressure, beautifully said. I couldn't have said it better myself. It's like that false sense of like, oh, I have to do this. And you're like, wait, something's wrong. Like, I have to get up and go and do something. And it's not like, I literally just happened to me this morning where my husband was getting ready in the kitchen. He brings me my coffee every morning, and I like woke up out of a dream that was like stressful, and I was like, oh, what's happening? And I was like, wait, do I have to get up? Like, do I have to like do something? Because my biological predisposition is like to get up and match the energy as an undefined center, and it's like that. It's what revs our engine. It's a pressure center, so it's that chakra presents a pressure to try to get us to do something, but then it stops at the gut, right? Sacral definition. It says, okay, I feel this, but now there's a barrier to entry. I see the troops coming up to the gate. It's hit the gate that is my sacral, and I say, do I want to allow this in, or does it make sense for me to begin something now with this thing, right? And this is where our human design doesn't exactly match with the way that our world is set up, because we're taught that like, if you don't finish something to the societally acceptable ending of them, then you failed. And it's trying to find that balance in relationships of like, okay, there's compromise there, right? Like, some days I am going to want to get up with my husband and do something early, but I'll take a nap later and I'll make that compromise because I want to have the experience of going on a sunrise hike with him, right? It's that, yeah. My Virgo and Scorpio partner with a defined root is so particular. Well, especially with Virgo, yes. I feel imperfect and weak, I've been told. I feel imperfect and weak, I've been told. That's interesting vocabulary. Do they have a Virgo? Does he have a Virgo, or do they have a Virgo Mercury? And was weak the vocabulary word that they use, and are you internalizing it is like in like it really hit a pain point and it feels like heavier? Oh, uplift the weak. Well, there you go. Hello. So this is perfect because we can do couples counseling. I feel like Dr. Orna. Yes, Virgo moon. Yeah. And I think what I'll say in partner's defense here is that anytime I see a Virgo moon, I'm a Virgo Chiron, so I understand. Anytime I see a Virgo moon, for how hard they are on you vocally, they are infinitely 85 million times harder on themselves internally, but oftentimes it can be guised under the essence of machismo in a little bit of a way, right? It's like, yeah, exactly. It's that like everything, like we are everyone, you know what I mean? Like under the collective consciousness where like it's that and oftentimes, listen, with Virgo placements, it's like perfectionism is a target that you can never hit. And I was just saying this earlier before you joined the live about how with Virgo energy, which also, sorry for your intestines and your guts, that's been a very anxious, like with the new moon in Pisces, you know, during your half birthday, it's very much about like stomach and sensitivity and getting your guts twisted, literally and metaphorically. Trying to work through those things. But I think the biggest thing is to remember that your words hold more power and frequency than we logically understand that. But once we really start being more intentional about the words that we choose, we realize how important that is for each other. Oh yeah, so he's going in there with the flashlight that is his moon and saying like, for both of you guys, okay, here's what we're gonna light up in each other. So a big part of what you know, like you are naturally just gonna trigger each other and bring it up. But the thing that you can come to is knowing that it's not you against each other. It's you against what you're each failing to see in yourselves and how you can hold that with reverence. I also highly encourage you and recommend to have a dedicated time that you sit and have conversation with each other, even if you have to keep a note in your phone to save the critiques for that time. Life is also meant to be lived and have fun. Like you're in a relationship and a partnership together that you choose to be in together. Remember that it's supposed to also be enjoyable. It's not supposed to be about lighting up each other's triggers and pointing out all the flaws. Like it's knowing when to laugh certain things off and to save something more serious. I also don't know if you guys met through this space, right? Like through this spiritual space, but don't let it make you feel like you have to have each other under a microscope all the time. You're already gonna naturally kind of intuitively feel like that, but don't make it feel like everything has to be picked apart all the time. And if we're not sitting in ceremony and gazing into each other's eyes and doing these things, that somehow the relationship is invalid. Like also remember that like joy and fun and happiness is also just equally as important. It's like we need to rest, and that should be something that's carved out on our schedule to pour out from an overflow, just as much as we need to work. Like work and rest should be equally scheduled in some capacity, right? So it's like having that split of like, yes, we're meant to be there for each other and we're going to trigger each other, and that's part of the karmic connection in this relationship. But that also doesn't mean that we have to wear it as an albatross all the time, that we've connected a necklace over each other in some sort of ceremony. That has to be too. This is where, like I always say, I'm woo and I'm spiritual and I definitely do a lot of the energetics, but I'm also aware that like I'm a human that doesn't know if I'm going to die tomorrow. So I'm not going to spend most of my day in partnership, especially that I've chosen to be in, talking about all the problems all the time, when like there's enough of that collectively, right? So it's like in a relationship, there always should be a variation of that for both of your placements that feel like home, that feels sacred, that feels that comfort and nurturing, when it can just be about watching a stupid movie, you know, or watching something that like is very human. I think like also remembering to be human together is important, and it doesn't always have to be about the fixing. And it's, if you are dating either of each other for your potential, you're wasting both of your times. It's not about, if you are waiting for a person to change, you have to get serious about knowing that like, I love this person for who they are right now. And if they never change, am I okay with the compromise that it takes for that to happen? I just have to do my puzzle. Okay, there we go. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's just where it's like the honesty comes from, and it's pushing it into the right place. It's not that critiquing is bad. It's that we want to make sure that we're critiquing with a purpose. And usually what happens is like do those critiques actually, or constructive criticisms, like, it's always been a relationship. Like, I want my husband to check me. Who else can I trust most that's going to know me, know my dreams, know what I want, know what I'm working towards in a safe space than my husband, right? But he also knows that, like, I'm not the type of person, and neither is he, to sit in that space all the time, right? And that means that it's good, but also, are you trying to get paid for it in a job and a service that you haven't created for yet? Stop telling your partner the critiques when you're supposed to get paid for it somewhere else, right? Like, it's the right idea, but the wrong execution. It's not supposed to go to your partner, which is the low-hanging fruit. That's the easy way out to scratch the itch of what feels good. But actually, is that your true gift, right? Like, is the gift supposed to be in either your sensitivity, vulture outside, and your sensitivity as Leah for somebody in a session, whether it's paid or for free, but with a wider audience, versus keeping it here with your partner, and vice versa for both of you. Yeah, and then you yap, yeah. And I think that's where, like, you guys are really the testament of, like, hey, I'm not looking for advice. I'm just looking for somebody to lean on, but also knowing that, like, it's in his nature to be, like, to help. Like, he's grounding for you. Like, he's gonna want to help. So it's like, hi, Gala. It's that yin and yang of knowing, like, okay, if his predisposition is to help, right? Then maybe there are certain things that you as Leah need to have, like, it's almost like triple split energy, right? Of, like, you need to have, like, 3 different people that you talk about in a different place and space. And that's also very Gemini Venus. Like, you're as a Gemini Venus, you're going to have connections with multiple different people that you go to about your problems that don't necessarily have to just be kept for your partner. And that also may be a lot of pressure on a Virgo Mars partner. It's like, you're saying all these things that I want to take action to fix them, but if you don't want me to, you know, it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And part of the mental freedom of a Gemini Venus and what helps in monogamous, I don't know if you're monogamous or not, but in monogamous partnership, is having different people that are meant for different things. Like, you have your workout buddy, and you have your person that you go to coffee and talk about business things with. Like, having different people in different places is that helpful. I'm probably going to stay on for another 20 minutes, Darth, because I want to pour into you guys too, because you've been so kind and patient while you're here. Hi, Hob. But I'll stay on for another 20 minutes so I can pour into you guys. And I'll also be back on Monday as well. Also, I just saw something quick about group chat, but do you guys want me to create a Discord channel for us to talk? Because I've also been thinking about creating that too. So I also could create, like, a Discord to channel that, like, to create some sort of connection. If you wanted somewhere else besides, like, the YouTube community space that's, like, more broad. But yeah, Leah, so, and I don't, you know, you guys are both capable. Like, you are in this work, like, you do this work, like, you're practitioners of this work. I think it's, like, not feeling the cameras is, like, feels kind of channeled. Like, don't feel like there's cameras in your room judging how you do or don't operate in your relationship, and feeling like me or anybody else, like, has any fucking business or say in, like, what happens in, like, your dynamic. Like, it's just more so, like, we're all people all trying to figure the same shit out. And as long as, like, love is the essence and the core of what you're working on, like, if you have love there, which I think that you do, it's like you can pour out from there your overflow in that way. So I'm excited for you guys, though. It's not, you know, we all have our challenges. We all have our hard. And I think, like, there's nothing wrong with you for not finishing what you start. But if there's things that are important to finish to your partner that directly affect your partner and your connection together, that's the short, sweet, succinct tip that I can give you, is, like, prioritize finishing it for your partner out of the verbing of love, of the action of showing your partner that you love them because you care. It's like connection and community. The cost of that is inconvenience sometimes, and it's like, yeah, it may feel a little uncomfortable for me to finish this thing or see it through, but I know it's important to my partner, so that it's the action that it brings him so much joy, that's what's important. So thank you, Reagan. But yeah, so thank you, Leah. Thank you for being vulnerable and for opening that up to our space here, because I've had the exact same types of conversations and, you know, working through. I've been with my husband for 5 years. And so it'll be 5 years in the summertime. But yeah, we've worked through it. The first year was the challenging out of any year. So hi, Koala, likewise. You're so sweet. Oh, remember, this is the best day of your year of our lives. I love that. I love that. Thank you for that. And I will send you the recording, Leah, so that you have it. Let me just go over here. Is there a group chat on YouTube? I don't think YouTube has a group chat. A Discord channel, don't key one thing stopping you. You're in for a wiser conversation. Your decision has good perks. Oh yeah. Hi bodybuilder, how are you? What's your big three? But yeah, let me know if you want. I'll make a poll because I don't know if I'll be able to scroll through the chat fast enough to see if you guys want a Discord for YouTube. I have a group chat, like the Brenna's Besties like broadcast channel, but it's like anyone on Instagram can see it. If they tap on it, they don't have to join. They can just like see the last few messages. If you guys, I feel like Discord, or like if there was an option for like a chat on YouTube, I'll look into that. I just don't know if it exists over there, but I'll look into that for you. Yeah. Yes, it's Aphrodite. So this is the Birth of Venus by Botticelli. It's I think it was 1453 if I'm not mistaken. I need to remember my art history flashcards, but yes. Yeah, I didn't see Flower Guy. Brenna, I guess Insta will be fine, but you have to mute the channel because we'll yap. No, listen, all my notifications are turned off. My phone literally lives on Do Not Disturb. Bodybuilder, so you were saying, can you tell me mine, please? So the information that I have on the screen is based on your birth date, time, and location. So if you know that, or if you know your sun sign, your rising sign, it's a version of astrology. Yeah, so Reagan, my lore is that, and you're welcome, Leah, thank you guys who all booked with me today. I'll be back on next Saturday, live again. I am dual streaming out to YouTube, but I'm on YouTube kind of as like my lunch break, chatting over there from 1 to 3 p.m. during the week. The only days I don't go live are Sundays, and I won't be going live Thursdays anymore. I had a schedule change, but Thursday, Fridays, and Sundays I won't be on, but I may switch Thursday and Friday, to be determined. But I studied art history in college. Felt like I didn't know. I was like, okay, I have this 4-year degree. I still feel lost as hell, like thanks for nothing. Learned a lot, met a lot of cool people, but like I still feel lost. And so I took every personality test under the sun, found Human Design. And now I refer to myself as a spiritual strategist because I know a lot of spiritual systems, also as an intuitive person. So my nomenclature now is spiritual strategist, although primarily using Human Design. But it's what helped me about learning art history is that it helps with my memory recollection of the different placements. So I'm actually teaching a workshop. There's a wait list for it at the link in my bio called the Astrology of Human Design. Yes, HD, exactly. Human Design, HD, yes. But I'm doing an Astrology of Human Design workshop. So if you already know about astrology and you want to learn about the overlap to make you a better recall, I'm making PDFs. Everyone gets a recording. So it's literally like what makes me a good reader and how I use like my art history knowledge to remember things. I'm creating that in a 90-minute workshop. So we're doing that in April, but I'm going to send out the list so people can sign up for it. So I don't want to forget that too, because I know a few of you that are here right now had mentioned, had asked me questions about that. But yeah. Yeah, I'll see. There's a lot of age diversity. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you're sweet. Oh, yay, Ghost. That's exciting. I'm glad you're developing something. Yay, let me know how it goes. But yeah, I'll do a poll as well. Yeah, absolutely. Art history and all. I agree. Thank you, Seth. Thanks, Koala. I appreciate you. But yeah, pretty cool even for people who aren't readers. It's true. Well, what it also helps with is reading your own horoscope for the day. So like how you can actually look at how the gates are affecting you when you know, like, and degrees based on the correlations between gates, all those things. It was really annoying for me to go and find all that information and condense it. So I was like, okay, as a 1-3 in me, basically the archetype of the teacher, I'm like, I need to give this to my people, because if I had to suffer to compile all of it, I want to make sure that people can actually use it in a way that like respects the hustle. So hence me doing the workshop about it. But I'm excited. I'm really excited to teach it because it's going to be a good class and like easy, and you have it to like refer back to again and again. So having that, yeah. Yeah, I was asking SK Roses, where do you want a group chat? I'm not going to do a group chat on WhatsApp. It'll be through some social media platform like Discord or like an Instagram situation, but I didn't know, I don't think YouTube has like a group chat feature, but where are you guys already kind of like living? Like what socials you already have, and then I can create one that like puts you guys together in a space where you feel like you can connect. I feel like Discord would probably be the best one. I have one created already, but I could just like put us together in there. Hi, Eloise. Insta works best for you. Are you on Discord, Roses? Hi, Mel. Welcome. Yeah, a little charge for the effort. It's true. It's true. Gotta respect the hustle. That's where it's like I teach people in mentorship like how to make money in their spiritual business. So it's like the people that have spiritual businesses, you know, they don't always believe in charging for what they're worth, but business is the point. Since there's not a lot of people right now, would you be okay talking about your source, God, Jesus, spirit, others, etc.? So it depends on like who I'm connecting with and when. I'm a Pisces, so source to me is multidimensional, but for me, I more so see like the God, Jesus, like religious aspect is like Allah. Like a lot of people that I have on the left-hand side. You know, I have Discord. Okay, that's good to know. Is everyone on Insta? Eloise, are you on Insta? I don't think you are. But for me, like on my left-hand side, I have so many people that are Muslim that are celebrating Eid today. You know, I have friends that are Muslim. I have friends that are Hindu. Like there's so much diversity. I'm also an Aquarius rising. So for me, it's a matter of figuring out like, okay, if I'm reading for somebody, I want to connect also to who their source is, right? So I see it as like more so like an all encompassing. Humans found really complicated ways to argue and punish each other than it's like if we're looking here arguing, we're not looking up here. So that's the short, sweet answer. But for me, I was raised, you know, in a Christian tradition. So, you know, I'll say God sometimes or things like that. I do believe in Muhammad as a prophet. I believe in Jesus as a prophet. I like both of their teachings, a lot of their teachings. But for me, it just depends on like situational relevance. But that I really do feel like these are all complicated explanations and diversity of spirit that like humans have made to ego check each other. I find that like I'm not there's a quote that was going around that I liked that was some variation of like, don't just tell me what you believe, show me what you believe through your actions and I'll tell you what you believe. Because like some of the most insufferable people I ever had the displeasure of meeting in my life were people I met at the church that like, and I actually made a video about this that's going in my Patreon because I do like a weekly tip. And I was saying how there are some people who join different religions because they have that ego checked of like, well, I'm going to be forgiven and you're supposed to forgive me. So no matter what I do, no matter how many mistakes I make, even if I willingly make them that are horrible mistakes, right? That are life-altering mistakes, you should forgive me anyway and I don't care. And it's like that kind of like energy, like that like aggressive, like, you know, saying it with your chest sort of thing that I have seen. Although I have people like Akbar that's, you know, Muslim that just went to sleep on my left-hand side that is Muslim and is one of the nicest people that I've ever met online, you know, and treats me with respect and kindness. So it's like that spiritual versus religion discord, or discourse that, I'm saying discord so many times, but discourse that I'm also looking at too. But yeah, I think that's a similar controversy of once saved, always saved. Yes, I don't know enough about that, but yeah, exactly. People are asking me a lot about religion, and I don't think that somebody who believes in Allah, right? If they get to the other side and Jesus is there, you think Jesus that's forgiving isn't going to give them a chance, or like isn't like I value people that don't just tell me that they're good people, but they live by morals and boundaries. Oh, basically we said, okay, yeah, I figured as much. I was like, oh, like what? Now I'm like, let me go down the rabbit hole. My Aquarius Mercury's like, this is something new I've learned. What can I research? But yeah, that's more so my my core of feeling. I don't think that, you know, when we cross over that anyone is going to get punished if their actions were made with good intention. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Christians who are in ego, some darkness because they keep doing what they said is wrong, but they keep doing it. Yeah, once you don't say exactly. Listen, I have family members that follow that vein. There's so much I could say. But yeah, so thank you, Swas. Yeah, can you tell me mine? Oh, July 25th. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so I don't bodybuilder. I was saying at the beginning of the lives before you got here that I only, on Saturdays, it's a different live than my usual lives that you guys get during the week. So I only pull charts for people that did paid readings with me. But for like when you know your what's it called? Your big three in astrology, like your sun sign. I know that you're a Leo rising, so that's why you demand attention. You're like, wait, pay attention to me. Like, what do you mean you're not paying attention to me? Like you're somebody who gets more sensitive when it's like, but now I'm ready. So like, why aren't you paying attention? But it's like, wait, take a second to read the room. Like we're all here together. It's not just about you and me. That's what private one-on-one conversations are for. But for me, it's like, I'm a hostess of like, how do I include all my people? Because we're in a communal space. So it's that energy, right? But very sensitive. You also are somebody that is meant to be in the spotlight in some capacity, but it's not, people don't like people who demand attention. People like people who are confident enough and reflect that confidence, reflect that courage, where you can't help but pay attention to them. So that's that distinction of like ego versus confidence, and it's a thin line that people walk. Yeah, I personally don't believe that, but I do believe God has a lot of mercy. Yeah, it's so interesting. Is that the like the voice through the veil? But I will say, Reagan, like, and I get the gist, like reading between the lines of like, you know, asking people in spiritual spaces what they believe and then opening up the conversation for Jesus. I love the way that in your terminology would probably be spreading the gospel. Like the way that you're doing it is the way that it should be done. Instead of saying like throwing the word repent at people, you're opening up the door for a much more grounded conversation. That's actually a really beautiful way to start to address the vocabulary of curiosity to religion, which I really love. So keep doing what you're doing, because it allows more of that grace and people to not, there's a lot of people that are on the internet with their gloves on. And I think that anybody that follows the vein of Christianity that's meant to connect with you in 2026 is going to do so through the way that you're communicating with them, because it's much more about curiosity than it is about like, oh, I'm gonna, it's like a drive-by, a drive-by holy water. And I see that in a lot of YouTube as well, where and no matter the religion, it's like that is such an outdated way, and it's a cheap shot at people who want to let people know God or let people become Muslim or revert or whatever. It's a cheap shot because it's like, oh, you're just checking off somebody off the to-do list. Like you're checking something off the to-do list that you feel is a core of what you're supposed to do, instead of actually taking the time to figure out what's the point of connection that you can make with the person in front of you. It's like, what is their vocabulary? Like, how are they understanding, or what are the good, like having a healthy argument. I think that the issue is that people don't like to sit and have, and that's not even an argument, but it's like a conversation, because they don't have the, they're not educated enough to have a conversation. Because I study art history, right? I study art history. So for me, it's a matter of like, okay, what was the historical climate? What's the conversation? And, you know, I know that even though I don't practice like one variation of Catholicism or Christianity, for me, it's like I'm much more interested in teaching people how to be a good person, and to letting them know that even though I'm not related to you, I have no skin in the game of like being nice to you. You know, like there's nothing I'm getting other than like it makes me feel good and know in my gut that if I'm pouring out from my overflow from a place of love and my intentions are pure, that's what matters. Like that's really what matters. So, you know, different ways that we can get to the same point, but yeah, it's not our job to save people, and I think people are too blinded by religious spirits, kind of like how Jesus was a lot against a lot of the Pharisees. Yeah, I have to go and up my like because I went to a Jesuit university, so part of the core education that we get is something called an eloquentia perfecta. So it's basically you have to take like world religions classes and religious classes to learn about like Jesuit culture, philosophy, so on and so forth. And so we learned, like, it was cool because you learn religious texts through the lens of history. And what was also cool, which you might appreciate, is I was talking about different translations of the Bible, and we were talking about how before they had the Guggenheim, the Gutenberg Bible, the Guggenheim as a museum, but the printing press, the first printing press that was created in Germany, you had monks that were translating the Bible by hand, word for word, by candlelight. And think about when you're tired at night, you've been writing all day, you write things by mistake. And so having that, like, it's like there's some variations of the Bible where people, or sects of Christianity, where people believe that the hand actually came through the wall, whereas like a lot of other variations, like the New King James Version, will believe that it's like it's a metaphor for something else. So that the linguistic, I mean, there's so much I could say about linguistics and culture and religion, and that what's the word, like there's just so much depth that we can learn when we understand linguistics and translation, and like having what I keep saying at the end of the day is that we all want the same things at the end of the day. We want peace, we want love in our life, we want our family and ourselves to be healthy. And so coming at that, hi Mystic, how are you? Yes, I love that. I don't know. There's so much I could say, but it definitely, I like that you open it up in a curious conversation. But I also think that, if you don't already do lives, Reagan, like TikTok lives and things like that, it would be a important thing to do if you are interested in that. I want to study that. I just haven't joined a class yet. So many translations related into that people often people miss when reading the Bible. Absolutely. And it depends, like, I don't know, I think so much about the word fellowship, and I think about that and like really connecting with our people. And so, that communion with people is important. Online and lives are the third space. You're welcome. Is the third space that we've been missing. The third space was like when you went out and rode bikes with your friends after school, and you hung out in some random yard and sat in front of like that green electrical bin, you guys know what I'm talking about. They grew up in the US. And we miss that third space, and like this is that third space. So it's like I am always okay, like when I can have these smaller intentional spaces, even if they're not larger. Like my space is always intentional. So like even you saying like it's quiet right now, you could ask me if I had 10,000 people here, my energy and my response would be the same, because I say what I mean and I mean what I say, and I value a time and a place for everything. And if I'm talking about spiritual strategy, like that's I expect those questions, I expect those this kind of dialogue to happen. And I'm not about I don't get in it. I have, my boundaries up healthily, but I don't get on the internet with my gloves on, ready to fight people who want to talk about Jesus or Allah or spirituality or human design or anything along those lines. Let me see. Okay, you guys were talking about age. Okay, all right. I don't think there was anything. Write my name in capital letters if you guys need me on the left-hand side. I'm good. Yes, the lives have been good. I've been busier behind the scenes. I have a lot of things that I've been doing, and I'm dual streaming. Hi, Margot. Thank you. On YouTube right now. So I've been on there more so during the afternoons, which is different because you guys usually know me as an evening girly. But I've been really enjoying doing my lives over on YouTube because you guys are in so much of a different connection. But it's more global is what I'll say, which I appreciate because you talk about a lot of varying different things. But Leah was saying, how has the way you plan in life changed with spirituality? How has the way you plan in life changed with spirituality? It depends on what you mean by planning. Like planning like logistically, or planning like my philosophy on life. My general philosophy is that like I could die tomorrow and I live every day like it's my last, being a spiritual person. I greatly value balance since finding spirituality. I do not operate like how New York will teach you. I do not operate by I have to rush to relax. I'm relaxing throughout my day. If people think that that means that I don't take my work seriously or that I'm not working hard enough, me looking haggard doesn't prove to you that I'm working hard. So that is a big spiritual, I really attribute that to my spiritual practice. I have gate 28 in human design, so the best way I can describe it is like I truly live my life like a game. Like I have this avatar that is Brenna in this body, and I'm aware that my body and my spirit are connected in one, but I feel that distinct difference between the two. And the best thing I can say is that for me, a spiritual practice, you know, having many friends that believe in many different things is the core of the essence, is like really making sure that, like, you know, righteous indignation, treating big, you know, hi Carol, like saying what we mean, meaning what we say. Like, I got even more serious about my values, and, you know, working on my perfectionism, you know, has changed the way, especially as I mentioned, as a Virgo Chiron, my fellow 90s babies. Not all of us, but a lot of us that are here. Yeah, so there's a lot I could say. It just depends on what other vein you want me to go down in that regard. But yeah, I think it definitely also made me realize, in terms of the vocabulary word planning, on knowing that there's also only so much within my control, but the things that I can control, I control expeditiously. Like, I'm like, I will make sure that I am like as on top of the shits that I can control, you know, as much as possible. And I value, you know, my mindset I can control, taking care of my health, you know, as best I can, is something that I control, moving my body, what I consume, who I connect with, when I connect with them, who I let in my space, you know, like those things are intentional. You know, I think it's the intentionality behind everything, because I, again, live every day that it's my last, and I'm like, okay, today I knew I would be fulfilled. I, you know, was cleaning with my husband earlier, and spending time with him, and we were laughing and listening to music, and I opened the door for my cat so he could take in the fresh air, and I value spending time with him and cuddling him and just sitting and watching him look outside at the turkeys that were going through their mating ritual outside. And, you know, like, I value connecting with my people and showing up for my Patreon community, and you guys that are here that care to listen to what I have to say, and I value the fact that I know that I am aware of my ability to have a peaceful and grounding presence for people, and I've always had that in my DNA before I really connected to spirituality or religion, even when I was a kid. So I'm like, if that was my God-given, universal given gift, I know that part of what makes me feel fulfilled and knowing that I'm helping other people in some capacity, you know, whether people believe that or not, you know. It's like, the only thing I can do is follow what I am intuiting is correct for me, and I'm very aware of doing things that make me feel good, not just because they're, like, in the words of Christianity, like fleshy feel good things, but like, this was right, and I feel groundedness in my choice, and knowing that the things that I did today were the right things to do. And if I start to get into too much of an anxious lather, I know I'm trying to overrule, you know, my peace or my gut instinct with my logical mind, and that's where we start to get into, you know, dangerous territory. So, just some other things that I can think to share. I'm like, I feel like I was saying this today. I feel like so many times I'm like, with the moon in my 10th, I'm like a mom that's trying to give out as many advice as I can in the time that I have, that I know that I can share with you guys, or like, what's relevant, what's going to be helpful. Is kind of the lens that I see it through. But I do it because now is the time for me to be on. But because I'm very present, people also believe that, like, people will try to take advantage of that in, like, my DMs in a one-on-one conversation. And I'm like, no, I have different barriers which allow me to have that presence and connection here, in that way. So the differentiation. Hi, Stone. But yeah, Reagan, I don't know if you're still here, Reagan, but I was, scared of being perceived. I just need to conquer that fear by just acting. You know what's funny? And I love that you said, I don't know if you're still here, Reagan, but this is helpful. Oops, let me switch this so I can see better. My nails are getting in the way. but when it comes to being perceived, right? And it also is interesting because I also think about, like, to speak your language, right? As somebody that is Christian, and I think about, prophets, right, of history, and how people are like, we're biologically wired to not say things when we feel like we're in danger. And, if you're doing something like going on a live, I say this all the time for anyone who wants to live stream, like, the internet is a place where it has always been statistically proven that there are people, especially while you're just starting out, before you've curated the space and really set the intention, said your prayers, sat with Jesus, to use your vocabulary, like, to have that conversation, like, if that desire is on your heart, the desire is on your heart there for a reason. And knowing that there are always going to be people that are naysayers, that are, act like the Pharisees, to whatever, then you're not surprised. The internet has very specific few, there's rules to the game, I want to say, but that's not really what the vocabulary words I'm trying to find. Like, there's things that always happen no matter what when you put yourself in a place of being perceived online. And so if you want to, Reagan, two great things that I would say to start is to, one, literally act. Like, put on your prophet hat, and think about the person that you want to be and embody them in the present moment. Like, it's like, okay, God wants me to be this person. This is the gift that he's telling me, that I'm meant to be the voice through the veil. And the way that I'm supposed to do that is public. So the way that I'm supposed to do that is by showing up online. So that desire is on my heart. I know that there are, since the beginning of time, and all these words in the Bible, people are throwing stones at people in the street. They're deleting them, with the word that I can say here, right? But online, you don't really have that. No one's physically here with you. I can feel the energy of the people that are here, right? But they're not in my space. You don't have the same fear that people did 2,000 years ago, or plus, right? So, like, that biologically, that is a tool for safety. I wouldn't necessarily, as a young woman or man, teenager, whatever, however old you are, you could be 40 for all I know, but if you don't feel physically capable of defending yourself in IRL, then, like, don't do things that put you in that position, because that's ego or other people that belong to your church telling you to do something that isn't, burp of affirmation, that isn't right for you. Your body's telling you. For me as Reagan, at this point in time, the desire that God has put on my heart is to speak to people. This is already a perfect example of, like, we may not have the same vocabulary words for the way that but we're explaining the same energy, is my core belief, right? So, like, do it in a space that feels like you are flexing your God-given muscle to practice what it is that you want to share with your people. And this is a space where, historically, how many other rooms have you gone into that aren't as nice? People that would block you right away once you mention Jesus, right? So it's like, but this is that divine connection, and showing you that it is safe to be seen speaking in public about the things that you believe in. And we're proof, all 9, 10, 11, 12 of us that are here on both sides, no one has said anything negative right now. Even if I know for a fact that there are other people in the room that don't agree or have the same point of view, right? So it's like that. This is a good practice and a step that, we've laid a path together to shepherd you, support you in that direction, to say, like, it's okay, like, it's safe to be seen by people who don't understand me. And a lot of my people that find me are the people that have issues with being seen and being visible. I have people on live or, every day that will tell me, you're fat, you should be working out, you're a fake, you're a fraud. What are some of the ones that I've gotten? Don't be condescending, because I don't believe that you're giving advice out of kindness. Like, why would I listen to the stranger on the internet? But I don't live there. I don't live in that world. It happens to me every single day. People who demand my time in my comment section that have no grace or understanding for me literally being another human being that has a husband and a family and elderly parents and, you know, like things along those lines that like, but I have grace and understanding that I know where that venom comes from. But if you truly want to show people what it looks like to have a relationship with the divine, then you aren't really afraid because it doesn't really impact you. You're sensitive to it because it's new, but truly, like, it's like that's the embodied wisdom of having a relationship with a higher power, is that like you don't like it's not. I know where that pain comes from, and I'm sorry for whatever has gone on, because I also know what it's like to be in such a deep, dark, depressive, horrible, you know, there's not enough words. If I've had like horrible things happen to me in my life, but at the hands of other people, and I knew that because of what I've been through, I didn't want to go back to that space again. So I wanted to be able to move forward in a way that like I became the adult that I wish that I had as a child to save me and help me and walk me through and give me the advice that I needed to be successful. And I think it's, you know, I could have very easily turned into the person that made those kinds of judgments and those kind of getting on the internet with gloves on and just going into attack mode on other people, but I choose to show up differently because I don't want to live in a world or in a world of my own body and my own mind alone. That's an exhausting way to live. And I know because there's a variation of my spirit that has been there before, and I didn't want to go back to that place, you know, like it's exhausting, and all it does is exhaust you more because you're constantly in fight or flight mode of like, who's gonna get me, who's out to get me, what's out to get me, I'm gonna get got, I better get them before they get me, I better say something before I feel exposed by them. And so when you know that people come from that place, it's like I treat it with sovereignty, but again, I don't live there. I don't spend time with those people because I have plenty of people like all of you that are here right now that aren't that way. So, you know, yeah, paying attention to those kinds of things too. Hi, gorgeous. How are you, Kate? It's nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, let me just read, in order. Yeah, especially if we try to be safe with our information, people can find addresses pretty easily. Yeah, when they know full names, but I don't fear death. Yeah, and there's a couple things, like, so there's a platform called Aura that, like, if you wanted to scrub your information from the internet, it's like $20 a month, but like there are plenty of services, thank you, that will scrub your info from the internet for, like, you could pay for it. And if there's a couple websites, like if there's anyone that posts like your information, like I've gone on and they just remove it within like a couple days or so. If you go, there's a guy that scams back scammers that are like trying to scam elderly people because his grandmother got scammed. His name's Kit Boga on YouTube. It's his username, KITBOGA. And he has like a discount code for Aura. So like if that's truly a fear, like you can be removed from like any of those, like, you know, do not call list, people finding your actual address. So that's a way to practice internet safety for sure. And most times too, like if like there are people that hasn't happened to me on TikTok. YouTube, people will try to like dox me on occasion, but none of my actual information is out there because I've done that. I've done the scrubbing. I've been on the internet a long time. So none of my people have tried to piecemeal together info, but it's not, my actual information isn't out there. So, you know, but I know that I also have layers of things that I've done to protect myself, that I'm not, like, I don't have to worry about those things. But there's always people, it's more so like a YouTube, like, scammer thing to try to, like, dox people online. But yeah, there's definitely things that you can do to, like, get out of that hole. But I would say it's usually people that just like to watch people have a reaction. Like, it's that kind of, like, sadistic personality trait where it's more so about, like, they don't actually have the ways or means to do something other than Google. Most people who actually are going to scam you are not going to announce that they're doing that, or not going to announce that type of behavior. So, you know, they're actually going to go after you. It's like you literally have it online in front of people on a live who, you know, it's a threat. And also through aura, like for my business, I actually have and I have a couple friends that are in cybersecurity, so they could find people like that. My neighbor across the street works for the government currently. And so I'm, you know, again, layers of things that I'm not concerned about because I have access to those things. But I also do have, through one of those platforms, insurance, where if there is ever any type of fraud when the person is caught, because it's not a matter of if, but it's when, I have $5 million of insurance in an insurance policy that is paid for through that service that will that is covered for lawyer fees and things like that to go after the person. So, you know, it's knowing what people knowing what people are capable of is good, but then it's like, okay, do those things that you can do to protect about it. But those things exist. But Kip Boga is the one person, he recommends Aura on his page, and I think there's like a discount for it. So those are also things that I recommend. Because as people get more desperate, they try to do sketchy shit. So, you know, hi Con, just more things that I can share. Yeah, like some minutes ago. Aw. I don't know if you guys have had other questions, but on the left-hand side. But yeah, so a couple things. Thank you, Con. I appreciate you. Just a couple things that I could say. But yeah, it's like there are ways to protect yourself, and I think that any type of fear that you have is always can be resolved with more information on the other side. So, you know, that also is possible. Yes, SK, let me know, girl. I can end with your question or any questions that you guys had for me chatting. But I didn't see, all I could see was the chats of you guys in between as you were chatting, so. But let me know if you found your rising signs or your ascendant. Someone wants my energy. I've been clear, but they keep coming back, but they don't like me. Yeah, absolutely, Reagan. I'm excited for you. Listen, I will be live next Saturday. Yes, I will be. For April, I may add on, oh, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. More people like you as well. Yeah, it's like respectful connection and just a dialogue. Like, you know, we never know where the world's going to take us, but I really want to make my spaces. What's 2 weeks long? I don't know what's 2 weeks long. But I value in being, you know, I have a lot of Aquarius placement, so it's like being the person that creates what I don't see, which is respectful connection. In a lot of spiritual spaces, it follows a lot of like ego-driven, like sales funnel, let me charge you $20,000 to get what I have. And, you know, in some spaces that's valid, but like, I don't know, there's a lot I could say about that, but for the sake of time and energy, you know, I value being an embodiment of what I also wish that I had when I was younger. Yeah, so a big part of that for sure. Do I want to hear how you met? Yeah, absolutely. How did you met in a weird way? Third question to Brenna in capital letters. Yeah, type all caps is like when you really want my attention. All caps is like how I can differentiate what a question is or a comment. No, everyone will be in all caps. Does people want to be a millionaire off the few? And that's like not the direction that we're going. So I had somebody very recently that was like, yeah, you know, like my services tend to work for people who make like $50,000 a month. And they were coming to me, you know, under the guise of like trying to ride my spiritual coattails because I built a business on people that trust me. And I'm like, you got me fucked up if you think that like, if you paid attention to me for 35 nanoseconds and tried to understand who I am as a person, like that's has always been the opposite of what I've stood for. And hi Tiffany, I let it run its course, and you know, they learned what they had to learn away from me because of me, but like it, you know, I'm not, they didn't pay me for that lesson, which it would have been a lot easier if they paid me the $150 for the hour to pick my brain. But yeah, same, also twin with what you said earlier about choosing to be the person you needed as a child. Absolutely. I grew up in an abusive household and that bad thing. Yeah, same. Same. Absolutely. I'm so sorry you went through that. Yeah. Talking about squeezing people? Oh gosh, yeah. Oh yeah. Went to a workshop about speaking. Okay, I think I understand. Yeah. It just like Pluto and Aquarius, like the direction that we all feel is like what we're all craving as citizens of the world is actual people just telling us the truth, you know, like what's actually going on so we can do something about it. You know, most people don't want to be helpless, you know, or not contribute in some way. They just get overwhelmed with analysis paralysis because they act on something and then they realize that what they were told wasn't true. You know, there's a lot I could say about that on the world stage, but like we want intentional leadership, transparent leadership in some capacity, and we don't always get that. But if you are an analytical person and practice looking between the lines, you can use the gift of discernment to understand who's telling the truth and who's not. It's not people, we're all capable of being able to tap into that intuition. Hola, Byron. Well, one night I was walking down the street with my headphones in, drinking Americano, and my shoelaces were untied. I tripped and fell, and yeah, the whole coffee fell on his expensive shirt. Then, like, I gave him my number. Oh, to make up for the shirt cost. That's so funny. Oh my gosh, that sounds like a movie. You should write a book about that. Hopefully he didn't get burned. Hopefully the Americano wasn't too hot. That's so cute, though. I love that. Yeah. Look. Oh, a sweet. Looking for growth-minded, dual income houses. Oh, wait. Oh, looking for growth-minded. Okay, so their pitch was looking for growth-minded people in dual income households. Stay away from single moms. Oh, okay. Excuse me. The characters are limited. Oh, so that was some of the things that they said. Yeah, so they were like, oh, these are the people who are broke. These are the people you want to go after. Yeah. And listen, like, it's like there's so many ways that people can make money. I think that it's the people who try to sell you the fast buck. Like, yeah, you don't actually know what a single mom's how she got an income. I know plenty of single moms. I was just talking about this to one of our friends that came to visit, and who have a ton of child support, alimony, because they married rich and divorced well. You know, like it was that kind of situation where they had a prenup that they were set for life, whether they stayed together or got divorced. And yeah, there's a lot I could say about that, but it's like, I value helping real people. I don't want to be in a space where I cannot, my body physically rejects being somebody that I'm not. I compartmentalize my personality, but like I physically cannot live by the words that I stand by. You know, like it's that like, it's so funny because as a Scorpio, like, well, my Scorpio, it's like there's such that like misinterpretation, like me compartmentalizing or me not sharing everything is because like I probably just got off a really fucking depressing phone call and I'm here to be of service to you. So I'm not going to talk about something depressing when it actually has no relevance. I may mention like, hey, tough phone call, energy's low today, but like that's all that needs to be said. It's not like a lying through omission in a bad way. And I think like that to me is like the benefit of Scorpio placements. Like we could have that, but that's so horrible. Yeah, people are so greedy and low vibrational, taking advantage 100%. I actually have the same astrology as Joel Osteen, which you'll know, Reagan. If you guys know Joel Osteen, I have the same astrology, and I don't need a mega church. I don't need a Maserati with my face wrapped on the hood of my Maserati. Like, you want to be a godly person that has a mega church, don't close your doors when people need you. He closed the doors to his church when his congregation needed him. I don't need to take 25% of a family that's struggling on one salary that has 6 children, okay? Like, it's like, you can be good at getting the money, but I want it to diversify to the people that actually need it. So it's like, where does it go back out into my community? wait, let me see. Yeah, and then we met in a cafe. I was supposed to give him money for the ruined shirt, but we just eventually started being friends and then started to date. I love that. That's so cute. It is K-drama. It's very embarrassing, weird way. No, it's not embarrassing. Listen, you were meant to meet and you were meant to have your baby and be engaged. So that's how the universe or God decided to put you together. That's what you guys will discuss and laugh in 10 years. It's so true. That's sweet. Yeah, exactly. Not all heroes wear capes. It's true. I think true heroes don't wear capes. Right? Like, we know that, of course, from, like, I love a good Superman. I love a good Batman. But I think real heroes don't go around telling people that they're heroes. They just do it without, like, the results. And, you know, that's the whole, like, we could get to the whole conversation about, like, spiritual services. Like, I get a lot of testimonials and things that people send my way, but there are very few people that I will share their words. Like, I'm somebody that trusts my energy when buying something from somebody, so I don't need the social proof. But I also am aware that there are people who do need to see other people saying good things about me to know, like, hey, I'm not just saying that people trust me, like, they actually do. But, like, I really value, I know, and I will share more of that. Deanna is one of those people, which I'm very blessed to have in my orbit. But it's like, a lot of my business was grown off of just like, you can just feel that I am who I am, and I don't sell something that I don't believe in. You know, it's an exchange that actually has value. And because I've been a victim of a lot of scammy things. There's a woman that's on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills right now, Amanda Francis, who was like, I was on her email list 10 years ago, and everyone's calling her Scamanda because, like, they're like, she's under the knife, you know, or the magnifying glass for the things that she's selling, and it's morally questionable. It's not illegal for what she's doing, but, like, I'm sure she has all the legalese, and, you know, yeah, like, at the end of the day, no one can care about somebody else's situation more than they can. I've been paraphrasing Dr. Ike, but, like, that, no, like, I'm never going to care about your situation more than you. And that's a distinction that we have to make. Like, I can't crawl into anyone else's body and live their life for them, but you have to value yourself enough. And good. Oh, it was so nice to meet you, Reagan. So nice to see you. Likewise, have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for being here. It's nice to chat with you. But yeah, thank you. I abundantly appreciate you too. Thank you. I'm so glad. Yes, cook and meal prep is good. I love that. Take care of your vessel. But yeah, there's so much I could say, but I'm the gift of discernment is important. Is the best thing I'll say. Practice discernment, study discernment, listen to your intuition. If something feels off, it can just be like, hey, we just don't connect, and it would have been off. I'm trying to force myself to like a person that, like, we just are different, and that's okay, and that doesn't have to mean anything by it. It doesn't have to mean that person is evil and is gonna, you know, try to do something crazy, but, like, you know, just trust yourself. Yeah. The fact that I never paid him for the shirt, and the fact that he brought the shirt some days before that may happen. Well, how does it feel to be in love? Like, I never felt in love, so how does it actually feel, and how do you know you're in love? How do I even explain that? I mean, you eventually do it. Like, explain a few words. Does it feel totally different? Being in love, I mean, as a Pisces Venus, like, I could talk about this all day. For me, like, I knew that I was in love with my husband and that he was different because I could trust I knew that I could trust him, like, explicitly trust him, and that I knew always from looking into his eyes and feeling his spirit that, like, my husband was never going to intentionally do anything to hurt me or, like, be a true breach of trust. It took, like, a year for me to, like, fully surrender to, like, letting, like, him get me, you know? But that was because the people that told me they loved me in the past that were supposed to have my back said it, but they didn't do it. So for me, and I think for you too, Swass, even just knowing your placements and how we're similar, like, it really is, like, I value trust so much. And honesty, and, like, even if we talked about things where, like, how do I word it? Like, even if there was conflict, I always knew, and he was the one that first said to me that I know said I'm so glad I give you confirmation. He was the one that said to me, like, it's never us against each other, it's us against the problem. So now I gift that to everybody else because he was the one that actually taught me that. And he's not even spiritual like that. He was raised, his dad was a pastor. He's more, in the religious vein than I am, but our morals and our values are the same. And like I say this all the time, every year I didn't know that I was capable of loving him more, and somehow he makes it easier to do. And I trust him explicitly. If the world were to implode tomorrow, like, I trust that he thrives in that type of environment in tactical warfare. But that depth of trust is something that I never felt before, and I knew that he was capable of doing that. So, oh wow, I'm so glad, Kate. I love that. Yeah, I mean, listen, I was like actively seeing somebody else in a situationship type of way when my husband came back into my life. And it was such even though, I had love for that other person, like I as just another human being, I was like, you're never going to be the person that I need you to be in a healthy, committed relationship. And like, there are people that will enter your life, and sometimes love is never enough. And that for me was like the hardest thing to understand, that like sometimes love is like, you could have love for a person platonically, romantically, and like they still they're not capable or are not progressing in a way that you need them to be in a healthy relationship, in a romantic relationship, or it could be your family, like your parents, so you're welcome, Smalls. But yeah, it like for I dealt with a lot of betrayal and trusting people that I shouldn't have trusted for the wrong reasons. But for me, it was like, and what my husband says too, and what he always looked for in dating, it also helps because he studied psychology for 5 years, so I have like an advantage in that way, where like, he understood, the human condition, and had also been through his fair share of challenges. But like, I truly went into our connection of like, do I like this person? A lot of people, and the realization that when we see other friends or family members or people in our lives that are married, it's like they married the person that was there at the time, because that's just what you're told you're supposed to do with that person that's there during your 20s or 30s, or it's just what you're supposed to do. And I was more interested in being like, do I actually, like, my husband truly is my best friend. Like, I would be friends, like, he would be my friend even if he wasn't my husband. And he was, because we were coworkers, we hung out, a couple times, and we were both dating other people when we were coworkers, and then we didn't talk for a couple years, stayed in touch peripherally on Instagram, and I was like, oh, this is an objectively attractive human, but I just didn't think in those, like, I didn't think about him in a romantic way. And who we were at the time, it wasn't like we weren't compatible, like when we actually met, which I think is even funnier because I've seen different variations. Like, he's 2 years younger than me, so he was graduating college, and that was my temp job, one of my first temp jobs, or only temp job really, in between working in arts and music management. And I just saw him like in a different light in that way. And so it was like we had to go on our different paths to come back together again. And I also think that can work for people who, like, right person, wrong time. You have to be brave enough to like let people complete their own destiny to come back together again. If you feel like they're not ready, if they're meant for you, they'll come back to you in the end. But what both my husband and I also value being individuals that came together. Like, he has his friends, I have my friends, I have my thing going on, he has his thing going on, and like, but it makes our relationship even sweeter because he has his things that he likes to do and I have my things that I like to do. And like, I don't sit and talk to him about human design. I'll ask him business questions, I'll ask him like logistical questions, because we're both Aquarius Mercury, so I know he's going to give me good advice about like how to approach things logically, and then I funnel that through my intuition for what I know is meant to happen. But yeah, I definitely, like, we truly have a friendship, and I love spending time with him, and like, I love being alone. Like, I truly love being alone. Like, if I was somebody that, like, if I didn't meet somebody and I died alone, like, I would be okay. Like, relationship wasn't necessarily going to fulfill me. like, God forbid something happened to him, I would never get married again. Like, I just know that. So it's like that, like, nothing can beat, I don't want to get emotional, but nothing can beat what he's given me up until this point. Like, nobody else can ever compare. You know, I just know that, like, it's like, I'm truly like that, like, one true love, like, sort of romantic. So, like, I was willing to wait for that, but I was also like, okay, if it doesn't happen for me in this lifetime, like, I can embody that level of love that I feel in animals. And on Thursdays now, I'll actually be doing, like, an animal, I joined volunteering for an animal rescue, so I'll be feeding all the little, like, baby birds and stuff like that. But like, I would have that love would go somewhere else. But, you know, I listened to my heart and my gut, and I knew that, even, you know, in our first year we went through some challenges, but, like, I knew in an unhuman sort of way that, like, we were supposed to be together and work through some of our challenges. So, like, and it wasn't anything that to me was, like, groundbreaking. It wasn't like, it was things that I knew that we could work through. So yeah, animal communication, absolutely. I mean, I think that I do it all the time with my cat at home, but I would love to do animal communication. I'm like, maybe I want to be like a horse chiropractor or an animal chiropractor. But I'll try it while I'm at the Pocono wildlife, like, situation. And I'll let you know. So it'll be cool to see the wildlife sanctuary. Poconos is one of them, but the wildlife sanctuary, there's quite a few in the tri-state area to bounce around to. But yeah, I love that. I don't know why I feel so weird when random guys come here asking Brenna to marry them. I just know, like, to be honest with you, it's happened to me in person. Not people asking me to marry them, but I've always had men that don't speak English that have come up to me asking for my number. It's happened to me since I was, like, a teenager. So it's like nothing. If I dealt with it in person, online is nothing. I'm like, oh, I just don't read it. You know what I mean? But it literally, I would have that every job. It's like, there's a lot I could say about the astrology components of that, but as, like, a Pisces Venus, it's like, I've always had that. Like, so, and I don't say that from an ego place, but it's just the truth of what's happened. But yeah, such a wide perspective. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to share. Like, for me, you know, I don't know, I like sharing all the different things that are going on. I think it's important to know that, like, I don't identify solely with my career. It's, like, a huge part of what I do and who I am, but, like, I used to, but I really see this as, like, I, as Brenna the individual, working on my business or connecting with people online, or, you know, Brenna the volunteer, but I don't, like, I'm multifaceted in that way, and we all should be. So it makes us much more well-rounded people that can, you know, have more diversity of conversation with people. So, but yeah, so I'm probably gonna head out now because I'm hungry. I actually didn't eat lunch and I didn't expect to stay on, but I always know that when I say, like, I'll be on for another 20 minutes, I'll be on here for another hour and a half. I'm just making sure, but have so much fun on your date, Kate. I'm excited for you. I'm happy to share, you know, any perspectives on anything I find helpful that, you know, that's the spiritual strategy of my life in a lot of ways. Especially in relationship and just anything that I've learned that I can find helpful to pass the baton on to other people. But it was so nice to connect with you guys. Leah, thank you for your reading with me. Deanna, thank you for your reading with me. Bree, thank you. I'll email you guys after I eat my late lunch, early dinner. And yeah, thank you guys for being here. My YouTube crew, and if you guys want to cross-pollinate over onto YouTube as well and join us there, I will be back on Monday, this Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I will see you guys later. I'll say goodbye to TikTok first. Have a beautiful rest of your afternoon. I will be back here next Saturday, so I will see you guys then. And then for you guys on my left-hand side, my YouTube crew, I will see you guys on Monday. So thank you for being here. Thank you for chatting. It was a little bit of a different live, so my attention was divided between the two because I follow up with some of my clients that work with me professionally. So it's a relaxed hang, but also I'm doing a variation of working while you guys see me here. But yeah.